Hi YouTube, it's Saturday the 14th of the 5th, 2011. And today they're going to open the Morganza Spillway. It's a decision they say they've not taken lightly, but they have no other choice. And when they release 125 gates, there is a torrent, a great wall of water just waiting to come through. The decision to open the Morganza Spillway is to save Baton Rouge and New Orleans, who would have been devastated by the water. By opening the spillway and releasing the water, it will now run a different course. It will run over privately owned farmland. I think it's about 8,000 hectares, which will be totally underwater and the crops destroyed. I've read articles, posts on forums, newspapers that by opening the Morganza spillway, the water is going to flow maybe in a different direction. It may alter the actual course of the Mississippi River forever. And there's also talk of, what if they can't shut the gates again? You know, these gates haven't been open for 38 years. What if they can't be shut again? What happens then? There are many rivers, tributaries, inlets coming into the Mississippi sideways, sort of flowing into it. And there are so many trying to rush in with all this water that's actually causing a water traffic jam. Thereby they're pushing against each other and the water is going backwards out. So you've got this backflow of water as well. It's causing major problems. There's water where there shouldn't be water. The Mississippi River is now closed and is only open to emergency traffic only. So that means that no cargo at all will be able to get through. No exports. Nothing. Now Stephenville and Morgan City will be in the way of these new waters coming through when they open the spillway. Morgan City is protected by a 22-foot wall, but they're not so sure that it's going to be high enough. And the people of Butte-la-Rose we're in an emergency meeting with ACE, Army Corps of Engineers, and they've been told they must all leave their homes and take their possessions with them because the waters could reach 15 feet. All the properties at Lake Ferguson are up to the roof with water. One of the officials took a boat ride along and totally up to the roof. It's just a horrifying sight to see all these roofs just peering out of the water. And these houses are actually built on stilts because they know the problems they can have with the water rising. And they're like on 15-foot stilts and they're still up to the roof. That's a lot of water. They are saying that 23,000 people will be affected by this and 11,000 homes will be impacted. And the reason they're giving for these floods is mainly, apart from the bad weather, is mainly the snow melting and flowing down. Now I've seen these storms backed up by ice and snow. There's been a lot of storms recently backed up by ice and snow, and a particularly bad winter when almost all of the USA was covered with snow. So all this snow has melted and all the water is now coming down and created this nightmare. I sometimes wonder, was it the right decision to blow the Bird's Eye levee? I mean, this seems to have been created this problem. Anyway, Canada are having the same problem with the Red River. That's getting really bad. Same problem, snow melting. When the water is diverted onto the farmland from the Morganza Spillway, it will create a river that is 10 kilometres wide. It will in effect create a new waterway. They're worried about other levees breaching themselves. And there's also a worry in the lower Mississippi flooding. There are 8 refineries along there, and at least 1 nuclear power plant to worry about as well. And the refineries make up about 12% of the nation's capacity for making gasoline and other fuels. So much is going to be lost in these floods. I'm going to read you a piece from the Daily Mail UK. It's a really good article, and I'll put the link in for you as well. But it gives quite a lot of good figures there, so I'll just bring it up. And the US Army Corps of Engineers will open the Morganza Spillway today, unleashing 600,000 cubic feet of water per second and forcing 22,500 people to leave their soon-to-be flooded homes. Authorities hope that by opening the spillway they will relieve the swollen Mississippi River and avoid catastrophic flooding. Louisiana's 2 largest cities, Baton Rouge and New Orleans. By opening the levee, flood water will be diverted to 18,000 acres of farmland, 11,000 buildings, a wildlife refuge and a small oil refinery in the Atchafalaya River Basin. It will be the first time the spillway, located about 45 miles northwest of Baton Rouge, has been opened in nearly 40 years. Volunteers and state officials are currently going house to house, making sure residents know about the opening and evacuation plans. The trigger for the spillway opening will be when the flow reaches 1.5 million cubic feet per second at Louisiana's Red River landing, and that's expected sometime later today, Saturday. Louisiana's Governor Bobby Jindal told residents in the affected areas to start leaving their homes, and said the state had plans with the American Red Cross to provide shelters for evacuees. Flooding could reach 20 feet in the Atchafalaya Basin. About 2,500 people live inside the floodway, and another 22,500 people and 11,000 buildings will be affected by backwater flooding when the Morganza is opened. Backwater flooding is water pushed back into streams and tributaries that cannot flow as normal into what would be an overwhelmed Atchafalaya River. Some 18,000 acres of cropland is expected to be flooded. A nightmare situation for all concerned. Everybody take great care. I mean, this is just unprecedented, isn't it? Totally unprecedented. And, well, I think it's breaking all sorts of records. And I sit here, I'm surrounded Saturday morning, this morning, surrounded by clouds, like in this picture of the FEMA trailers, but they're much, much bigger. Great big marshmallow clouds, like from Ghostbusters. And I'm sitting here in this altered reality, but you poor people are in a much worse situation. And I have my fingers crossed that all goes well and the water flows as it should, and I think that's all I know about it. FEMA, of course, is on hand, and there's, as you can see by the picture, which is current, they've got their trailers ready. So all I can do is wish everyone really good luck on this, and stay safe, and try and have a good weekend. And I'll update as soon as I have anything. I hope that's been of some help. Thanks, YouTube.